another game on Sports Network production. You are watching Highland Park basketball. Your Highland Park Scots hit the road again for another tough 6A opponent. This time, they get the McKinney Lions. Hello, world. My name is Matthew Bryce, and we say thank you for tuning in on this Thanksgiving week. Starting lineups for Highland Park. Big Will Saunders. Cade Kaplan, number 2. Cannon Wyatt, number 1. Conrad Noble, number 5. Chris Martinez, number 13. They meet at the tip-off circle. Number 33, Wyatt Seal of McKinney. He will do battle with Will Saunders from Highland Park. Go time. McKinney winning the tip. That is Braden Givens, number 2. He pulls the trigger immediately on a three-pointer, nothing doing. Will Saunders controls the rebound. He's going to get it to Cannon Wyatt. Wyatt over to Martinez. Martinez with his second start of the year. And this is Highland Park's third game played. They come in 2-1. And Kaplan over to Saunders. Highland Park defeating Wiley, losing to Allen, defeating Lake Highlands the other Friday evening. Martinez mid-range. Rims out, rebound, Wyatt Seal. And Seal getting it to Shannon. Damani Shannon, the sophomore. Shannon doing battle and going straight to the hoop. Nothing doing. Martinez with great defense. Here comes Cannon Wyatt. Wyatt over to Martinez. Martinez going baseline, getting it over to Will Saunders. Back to Martinez. Pump fake. Saunders shooting for 3. Nothing doing. Martinez the rebound. Martinez getting it over to Cade Kaplan. Cade Kaplan straight up the baseline and a nice finish for the first points of the game. Highland Park leading 2-0. As we get below the 7-minute mark here in the first period. And Damani Shannon getting it over to Seal. That's Bo Seal. Nothing doing out of the corner. Shannon the rebound and straight back to the basket, and they're going to get Will Saunders for a foul. And McKinney coming in 5-1. Their only loss to 6-1 Capel. And Highland Park continuing a gauntlet of a non-district schedule. Shannon drains the first one. And Shannon only a sophomore. Some good underclassmen on the court. Not only for Highland Park, but for McKinney as well. Martinez and Shannon, counterparts, getting the respective starts for their two teams. Damani Shannon hits both free throws. We are tied at 2. 6:33 to go and ticking here in the first period. Martinez bringing it up. Shannon in his hip pocket. Calls the offense. He's going to get it to Big Will Saunders. Noble over to Kaplan. Back to Cannon Wyatt. He wanted to pull that trigger from 75, but he goes for the mid-range. Nothing doing. Great defense by McKinney. Bo Seal, the junior, bringing it up. Seal is going to go straight to the basket, lays it up, nothing doing. Rebound, Will Saunders. Saunders aggressively bringing it up. Cannon Wyatt for 3, nothing doing. And there's a rebound for McKinney. That's Jace Griffin. And here comes Braden Givens. Givens kicking it out to Shannon for 3, nothing doing. Martinez, great rebound as he boxes out. He gets it up to Kaplan. Kaplan with a nice move to the basket. Rolls in. And Cade Kaplan with all 4 of the Highland Park points. 5:38 to go and ticking, and the Scots are leading 4-2 here in this first quarter early. And there's Big Wyatt Seal pulling the trigger. Nothing doing. Rebound, Wyatt up to Saunders, back to Martinez. Martinez straight to the basket. Nothing doing. Followed up by Conrad Noble. Nothing doing. Great defense, Damani Shannon, as he comes down with the rebound. And Shannon kicks it up to Griffin. Baseline. Great block from behind by Will Saunders. Or Billy Bob, as he is called. That is his nickname. Don't ask me where I got that information from. I cannot reveal it. There's a 3 out of the corner. Rims out. Rebound by Billy Bob. Will Saunders. And Saunders to Martinez. Martinez going to take his time bringing it up. Gets a screen from Saunders straight to the basket. Is Martinez. He cannot finish. And Conrad Noble to rebound right back up. Cannot finish. Great defense by McKinney. There's Wyatt Seal with the rebound. Here comes Shannon. Pushing it.
Griffin's going to pull the trigger out of the corner. Nothing doing. Martinez in there battling. And that's off the hands of Wyatt Seal. Possession Highland Park. 4:41 to go and ticking here in the first period. As we got a 30-second timeout called by McKinney. McKinney, they bring to the table great athleticism and great size. Damani Shannon, only a sophomore, but a 6'2" sophomore, and he can push the rock. But you also got Big Bo Seal and Wyatt Seal in the front court. Both can shoot the corners. They can shoot the J out of any corner or any spot on the court. And there is a reason why they are 5-1 right now. As we get back to action. And Wyatt, he gets it into Martinez. Martinez is going to bring it up the court. Damani Shannon challenging. Over to Wyatt. Cannon Wyatt back to Chris Martinez. Saunders showing screen, but nothing doing. Conrad Noble. Nice pass to Cade Kaplan. And Kaplan cutting to the basket. Cade Kaplan with 6 points for Highland Park. As the Scots do lead 6-2. We're approaching the 4-minute mark here in the first period. And Shannon, he getting it over to Braden Givens. Givens back to Seal, back to Givens. Going to the basket. Cade Kaplan, great defense. But Braden Givens with a nice finish. Great execution. Make it a 6-4 Scots. Cade Kaplan chopping. And to the basket he goes. Cade Kaplan on fire early. 8 points for Highland Park. All 8 by Cade Kaplan as the Scots lead 8-4. 3:40 to go and ticking in the first period. 3-point shot. Nothing doing. That was Braden Givens pulling the trigger on that one. Saunders the rebound. Saunders over to Kaplan. Kaplan with the hot hand feeds it to Martinez as he goes to the basket. And they're saying and one. And Martinez continuing to be aggressive as he has done earlier in the year. In the first 3 games for the Scots. Cuts to the basket on a great feed from Kaplan. Finishes, and he has a chance for a 3-point play. Spencer Olbenson is going to sub in for Highland Park. As is the other super freshman for Highland Park, Alex Stockwood. Martinez finishing. And he completes the 3-point play. Highland Park up 11-4 early. We are approaching the 3-minute mark. And Jace Griffin handling the rock, number 13. He's got it over to Wyatt Seal. He wanted to pull the trigger. Seal going baseline and finishes. Will Saunders provided some great defense. Nothing doing, though. And there's a 3-point out of the corner. Stockwood, nothing doing. Wyatt Seal the rebound. And he gets it to Shannon. Shannon's going to bring it up the court, slow it down. Cade Kaplan in his hip pocket. And Shannon sets up the offense for the Lions. Scott's ready. Seal, a screen. And there's a nice baseline move, but nothing doing. Great defense by Spencer Olbenson. And Spencer McGuire was challenging at the basket. I think they got Olbenson for a foul. McKinney retaining possession. 2:33 to go in the first period. 11-6. Highland Park leading. There's a shot from Griffin off the inbounds pass. Nothing doing. Rebound offensively. Hunter Jones, another sophomore from McKinney. Wyatt Seal to 3, and he hits it. Wyatt Seal, early 5 points here in the first period. Bringing the score to 11-9. Scott's leading. Here comes Martinez pushing it. Stockwood out of the corner for 3. Nothing doing. Rebound Hunter Jones. And Jones over to Shannon. And Shannon brings it up the court. You got multiple underclassmen on the court for both teams. 2 freshmen for Highland Park, 2 sophomores for McKinney. And that's Jace Griffin, a junior, getting to the basket. Cannot finish the basket, but he's going to the free throw line to shoot 2. Clock stoppage here, 1:55 in the first period. And Griffin trying to tie it up as Highland Park leads 11-9. assistant coach Travis Snowden. I spoke with him pre-game, and he spoke very highly of the young man, Jace Griffin, for McKinney. Says he is the real deal and a problem as he hits the first free throw. Griffin hits the second free throw, and we're tied at 11. And subbing into the game now for Highland Park, number 11, Charlton Bradford, and number 21, Drew Fisher, a sophomore post. Welcome back, Fisher. He did not play the other night, but he's back today. And Kaplan went to the basket, challenged greatly on the defensive side. Here comes McKinney. There's Shannon. And Shannon's going to get it over to his guy, McGuire. Cannot finish. Rebound, Charlton Bradford. And they're saying it's off of Bradford's knee. McKinney is going to retain possession. More subs coming in. Zach Jackson, number 14, he's going to sub in for Highland Park. Oberson still out there with Cannon Wyatt, Drew Fisher, and Bradford. Wyatt still pulled the trigger, nothing doing. Cannon Wyatt the rebound. He's going to get it to Oberson. Oberson's going to slow it down. And over to Fisher, over to Bradford. Bradford's looking to go to the basket. Going to get it out to Cannon Wyatt. Going to let Cannon Wyatt set up the offense and do his thing. But great defense by McKinney on the backside. That was Braden Gibbons causing the turnover. McKinney retaining possession after that. And the Scots. And there's Jace Griffin again. Big man handling the rock. He's going to get it over to another sophomore, Rashard Dickerson, in the game. Dickerson gets it to Hunter Jones. Sophomore to sophomore. Hunter Jones with his first 2 points. McKinney with its first lead of the day, leading 13-11. Bradford over to Cannon Wyatt. And Wyatt over to Fisher. And they get Dickerson for his first foul of the afternoon. Cannon Wyatt, he's going to throw it in. And there's a steal and on the move into the basket. Great defense by Cannon Wyatt to disrupt Braden Gibbons. Fisher going up. And Bo Seal with great defense that time to deny Drew Fisher. But Highland Park will retain possession. And that's going to get in, and it's a turnover. Jace Griffin. Griffin going to bring it up the court. Going to get Charlton Bradford. Saying he got a hand check. Third team foul of the day on Highland Park here early in the first quarter. And there is a shot up. Nothing doing by Bo Seal. Great defense, Drew Fisher. Cannon Wyatt brings it up. Last few seconds, 5 seconds and ticking to end the first quarter. And that's going to be a shot, three-pointer, nothing doing. And that's going to do it for the first period. Some great things shown by both teams. Highland Park jumped out to an 11-4 lead. McKinney currently on a 9-0 lead to end the first period. As the score is 13-11, we go to the second quarter. And we say thank you again for tuning in to hear Game On Sports Network. Another Highland Park production, another Game On Sports production brought to you by Highland Park Basketball. My name is Matthew Bryce. I have your play-by-play and your color. Your Scots leading scorers. Cade Kaplan with 8 first-quarter points. And the other 3 points came by virtue of Chris Martinez. McKinney being led by Wyatt Seal. He has 5 points in the first quarter. 2 by Jace Griffin, 2 by Hunter Jones, 2 by Braden Gibbons, and 2 by Damani Shannon. And if you love great defense, you have tuned in to the right place. If you love great ball handlers, you have tuned into the right place. If you were looking to watch some great underclassmen play some great basketball, once again, you have tuned into the right place. That is on full display here by way of your Highland Park Scots with Chris Martinez, Drew Fisher, and Alex Stockwood. McKinney bring it to the table. Damani Shannon, Hunter Jones, Rashard Dickerson, and Tyree Miller, all sophomores. Junior Jace Griffin, the big man, can also play. Zach Jackson with it. You see him, number 14. He's going to get it over to Cannon Wyatt as we start the second quarter. Wyatt, nice pass to Jackson. Jackson's going to get it back to Bradford. Bradford cannot finish. He is picked by Gibbons. Griffin is going to get it up to Hunter Jones. Jones running the floor for 4 points. 7:33 and ticking. And that's a nice pass cut to the basket by Bradford to Jackson. He cannot finish. And now they get Jackson for a foul. Jackson a little frustrated by that call. Bradford and Jackson going to sub out. Back in the game for the Scots, Cade Kaplan and Chris Martinez. 7:28 to go here and ticking before halftime. McKinney leading 15-11. So far, their biggest lead of the day on this early Monday basketball matchup. And Rashard Dickerson, another sophomore from McKinney. He gets the three. He gets the roll on that three-point shot, stretching the Lions' lead to 18-11. Martinez bringing it up. Martinez over to Wyatt. And Wyatt got Jones in his hip pocket. Wyatt wanted to pull the trigger, but he gets it over to Olminson. McKinney dialing up the defensive pressure. Here comes Cade Kaplan. Back to Martinez. Back to Kaplan. Kaplan behind the back. Get it over to Wyatt. He's going to pull the trigger from 75. Nothing doing. Rebounded by Braden Givens. Getting it up to Dickerson. Dickerson over to Jones. And that's Bo Seal. Getting it back to a cutting to the basket. Braden Givens. Spencer Olminson, great defense. Here comes Cade Kaplan. He gets it to Cannon Wyatt. Nothing doing. Rebounded. Braden Givens. Givens, the senior. Spins around. He's going to get it to Griffin. He loves that three-point shot out of the corner. He cannot finish, but rebounded. And they get Olminson for the foul. Braden Givens with the rebound for McKinney. Looked like he was going to go up for a layup, but then he kicked it out to Bo Seal for a three-point attempt, and that's when the whistle happened. Conrad Noble, Will Saunders coming back in for Drew Fisher and Spencer Olminson for the Scots. Noble and Saunders joining Martinez. Wyatt and Kaplan on the court. And a nice move baseline. Braden Givens getting to the basket. 20-11. McKinney leading Highland Park. 5:50 and ticking here in the second quarter. And Kaplan. He's going to go straight to the basket. Cannot finish. Conrad Noble has it. Had it. And he draws the foul. They're going to get Bo Seal for the push. And McKinney. Highland Park going to retain possession. It's the first foul on Bo Seal, the junior, and the younger brother of senior Wyatt Seal. Saunders has it, gets it over to Noble. Martinez. Saunders cuts to the basket, and he finishes. Great effort by Will Saunders, his first 2 points of the afternoon. 20-13, McKinney leading. And a block from behind by Saunders on Bo Seal. Bo Seal wanted that three. Seal regains possession, cuts to the basket, lays it up with a nice finger roll to get McKinney back in front by 9, 22-13. The Lions lead. Martinez kicking it over Kaplan. Kaplan, baseline. Saunders cutting, blocked from behind by Rashard Dickerson. Great ball movement by the Scots and great defense by the Lions. And now Wyatt Seals, he's going to check back in, as is Damani Shannon for McKinney. Braden Givens also coming back in. Both Seal brothers on the court for McKinney. And he wanted to go mid-range, but he passed the shot off, and That was Cannon Wyatt turning that one over. And Damani Shannon, he's going to throw it in to his buddy Braden Givens. After that last whistle. We are below the 5-minute mark here in the second quarter. McKinney leading 22-13. And Highland Park with a little bit of zone defense right now. Damani Shannon trying to figure out what he's going to do. Will Saunders not letting anything by him, but the ref says that is a kick ball, Mr. Saunders. Possession McKinney. Givens. Highland Park remaining in the defense, and McKinney makes him pay for it. Wyatt Seal with his 7th point of the day. McKinney leading by 11 now. 24-13. And Cannon Wyatt draws the foul. Going to get Hunter Jones. That'll be his first one of the afternoon. So used to doing evening games, I'm saying we're in the evening, when in actuality, it's 2:14 in the afternoon. It is Thanksgiving break for both teams in school districts. Cannon Wyatt, Saunders for 3, nothing doing. Rebounded by Givens. Here comes McKinney. Great defense by Cannon Wyatt. He picks him. And here come the Scots. Saunders gets it from Wyatt. And Saunders showing post. Getting it over to Martinez. Martinez pulls the trigger. Yes, indeed. Chris Martinez with 6 points. He shot that one from the access road on 75 to get Highland Park back to within 8. McKinney leading 24-16. And there's Wyatt Seal getting it over to baby brother Bo Seal. Cannot finish it. And they saying that's off the hands of Bo Seal as he knocked it out of the hands of Conrad Noble. Noble with some great defense. Bo Seal had a great look at it. But Conrad Noble right there. Johnny on the spot, forcing the shot to fall just off the front of the rim. And Martinez, that's a sophomore and freshman battle. Martinez gets the Cannon Wyatt. Wyatt, mid-range, cannot finish it. That'll be off on Damani Shannon. Excuse me, off on Chris Martinez. And Cannon Wyatt, he was looking to get that mid-range going. McKinney with some great defense. We are approaching 3 minutes left in the first half. McKinney leading 24-16. And Wyatt Seal has it. Conrad Noble right there with him. Seal going to go up, hook shot, and he finishes. Conrad Noble defended that as best as he could. Cade Kaplan with a quick 3, that is off. Noble had the offensive foul. Knocked out of his hands and off of his hands by Jace Griffin. As mentioned earlier, Conrad Noble continuing to play great defense for the Scots. Wyatt Seal just doing a good job of executing on the offensive end. Can't do anything about that, but tip your hat. The Lions leading by 10, 26-16. 2:41 to go and ticking before halftime. And there's Griffin with a 3-pointer. Nothing doing, rebounded by Saunders. Martinez bringing it up the court. Slows down, lets the offense set up. Saunders with it. Over to Noble. And Kaplan has it. Wyatt from 75. Nothing doing, rebounded by McKinney. That was Wyatt Seal with his rebound. And Damani Shannon going behind the back, and he draws the foul. Going to get Martinez for that one. Martinez is first. And we are still in the first half, but Damani Shannon and Chris Martinez, 2 of the best underclassmen in the state of Texas, and they have put on the show. Handling the ball and playing defense. And a nice feed from Big Wyatt Seal. Getting it over to Jace Griffin. Griffin with his 4th point of the day. McKinney leading by 12, 28-16. 1:50 to go. Martinez, there's Shannon right there on his hip pocket. Martinez getting it over to Wide to Noble, over to Kaplan, and back to Martinez. Martinez going to cut to the basket. Lay it up, cannot finish. Rebounded by Wyatt Seal. And here comes Braden Givens. Over to Shannon for three. Cannot do it. Hunter Jones, the rebound, gets it back to Shannon. Shannon over to Griffin. Conrad Noble in his hip pocket. Blocked by Will Saunders. That is 3 blocks today for Will Saunders. Now Highland Park controlling. Here comes Martinez. Tipping it back in over to Cannon Kaplan. Kaplan, a nice finish at the basket. Cade Kaplan. Double digit scoring. 10 points for Cade Kaplan as we approach the 1 minute mark before halftime. McKinney up by 10. And the Lions looking to get themselves a good shot. And there's a three-pointer pull. Nothing doing. Will Saunders, great defense, rebounded by Martinez, getting it up to Cannon Wyatt. Wyatt, the finish on the fast break. That's Cannon Wyatt's first 2 points of the day. Highland Park back to within 8. 28-20, McKinney leading. Damani Shannon, Chris Martinez. Shannon getting it over to Hunter Jones, his fellow sophomore. Jace Griffin with it, the junior. Jace Griffin using that size. McKinney's size tends to be an issue early for Highland Park as they lead by 10. Cannon Wyatt with it. Scott's down by 10. They're holding for the last shot. Saunders going to pull the trigger. And that one's out. And McKinney is going to get the last shot. I thought Highland Park was going to hold for the last shot, but Saunders decided to pull the trigger on that one. Jace Griffin, he's going to pull the trigger. Nothing doing. Will Saunders rebounded, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. McKinney leading your Highland Park Scots 30-20. And we say thank you again for tuning in to Game On Sports. Let's go down the leading scorers on both sides. First for McKinney. McKinney being led by Wyatt Seal with 9 points. Jace Griffin with 6. 4 points by Hunter Jones and Braden Gibbons. 2 points by Bo Seal. And 3 by Rashard Dickerson. Now for your Highland Park Scots, Cade Kaplan leading the way with 10 points for the Scots. Chris Martinez following him up with 6 points. And then you have 2 points from Will Saunders and 2 points from Cannon Wyatt, which rounds out the scoring for the Scots. We are going to take a quick break here, right here at Game On Sports Network. My name is Matthew Bryce. We say thank you for tuning in to Game On Sports. We will return for the second half in just a moment. We are back from a quick halftime break. Welcome back to Game On Sports Network, where you are watching your Highland Park Scots continue a gauntlet of a non-district schedule. 2-1 they come in, defeated Wiley and Lake Highlands with a loss to Allen, and now they are facing the McKinney Lions, who are also looking to make a deep playoff run in the 6A state playoffs come the springtime. Hello again, world. My name is Matthew Bryce. I have your play-by-play and your color. Live here in McKinney, Texas, as we are about a minute out from starting the third period. Highland Park done some great things on the defensive side and on the rebounding side, but so has McKinney. Great underclassmen on both sides of this, as all have played a key part in how this game has gone. Great coaching on both sides of this, as that too has played a key part in how this is going on both sides. McKinney looking to move to 7-1 overall, while Highland Park looks to go to 3-1. But they got some work to do here in this second half. But before we get to that, let it be known that you can follow us at Game On Sports on all social media platforms. Twitter known as X, the handle is Game On Sportsnet. Or you can type in Game On Sports Network and the page will come right up. Facebook, Game On Sports Network, and on Instagram, also Game On Sports Network. You can also follow me on X. My handle is Matthew on the mic, or you can just type in my full name, which is Matthew Allen Bryce, and I do follow back. Instagram, it's the same. Type in my full name, Matthew Allen Bryce, or type in my handle, Matthew on the mic. Once again, I do follow back. Or you can follow me on Facebook, where it's just my name, Matthew Bryce. And now, we get to the second half. Can the Scots make up some ground and get out of here with a victory? Or does McKinney walk away victorious? We get ready to find out now. There's the Lions coming back on the court. You get a good look at Damani Shannon, the sophomore, joined by Braden Gibbons, the senior. Jace Griffin, number 13. Big Wide Seal, number 33, and his baby brother, Bo Seal, number 32. On the court for your Scots, Chris Martinez, number 13. Cade Kaplan, who is leading all scorers with 10 points today. He's on the court. Cannon White on the court with 2 points. Big Will Saunders with 2 points, and Conrad Noble is also on the floor. Martinez has 6 points himself, as we see McKinney get us started here in the second half. Looking for a good shot. Wyatt Seal, he's going to get it over to Jace Griffin for 3. Griffin cannot get that one to go. Conrad Noble to rebound, and he draws a foul. Going to get Big Wyatt Seal for his first foul of the day. And Conrad Noble continuing to be a force on both the boards and on the defensive side. Cannon Wyatt, he's going to get it into Martinez. Here comes Martinez. And Martinez solidifying himself early on in this season. A shot and good from three-point land. Cannon Wyatt with 5 points now. And if you're the Scots, that's how you want to start the second half as they get to within 7 points. 30-23, McKinney leading. And Shannon with it. Going to get it over to Givens. And back to Shannon and back to Griffin. Will Saunders right in his hip pocket. And Highland Park with a good zone defense. But Bo Seal is going to pull his trigger out of the 3, out of the corner, and nothing doing. But McKinney is going to retain possession. Damani Shannon getting ready to throw that one in for McKinney. Nice defense by Cade Kaplan forcing the air ball. There's Martinez going to lay it up. Finger roll. Yes, indeed. That's 8 points today for Martinez. Highland Park to within 5. Damani Shannon for 3. Nothing doing. Great defense by Conrad Noble again, but Shannon rebounds it. Great defense again. Will Saunders the rebound. Martinez up the floor. Wyatt for 3 again. Yes, indeed. Back-to-back three-pointers for Cannon White and Highland Park. The Scots still within 2. It's 30-28. McKinney, 6:16 to go and ticking here in this third quarter. And Highland Park starting second half on an 8-0 run. And Damani Shannon. Highland Park still in that zone defense. That mid-range is no good. Damani Shannon, the rebound. Martinez knocking it loose. Here comes Cannon White over to Martinez. Martinez over to Cade Kaplan. He's going to go baseline. Back to Martinez. Martinez. Cannon White for another 3. Yes, sir! And Cannon White gives Highland Park their first lead since the early part of the second period. 9 points scored by Cannon White on 3 baskets here in the second half. And it puts Highland Park in front. Highland Park is on an 11-0 run to start this third period. And I'm not going to pry too much, nor am I going to assume too much. But I got to wonder if Coach David Peeler went in the locker room at halftime and peeled some paint off the locker room walls. Because the Scots coming out like their hair is on fire right now. And Cannon White, he was hot the other night, lit up Lake Highlands on the road at the Wildcat Gym, and now he comes out. He joins his best friend, Cade Kaplan, in the double-digit scoring range. Cannon White now the leading scorer for Highland Park. Cade Kaplan with 10, Chris Martinez with 8, Will Saunders with 2. We are out of that timeout by McKinney. Highland Park leading 31-30. And there's Damani Shannon slowly bringing it up the court. And one thing, just like Highland Park, McKinney likes to work it around until they get a good shot. Griffin for 3. And Griffin puts McKinney back in front. 33-31. Martinez with his Shannon Gardner. Griffin on Cannon White. White over to Will Saunders and back to White. He's going to pull that one. Nothing doing, misses that one. Rebounded by Hunter Jones. And here comes McKinney. Braden Gibbons crosses, gets into the paint. Will Saunders deflected it. Gibbons has it again. Wyatt Seal wanted to shoot that one, but he said, no, sir, let me get it back to my guy, Braden Gibbons. McKinney. They got multiple guards on the court right now. Either one can run the offense, whether it's Damani Shannon or Braden Gibbons. Both have the ability to run the offense and call the offense for McKinney. And Cannon White picking up his last foul at that last whistle. And there's Jace Griffin. Griffin over to Gibbons. Back to Griffin. And Damani Shannon with it. Griffin's going to pull that one from 75. Nothing doing. Rebounded by Will Saunders. Saunders over to Martinez. Martinez up the court. Cade Kaplan straight to the basket. Finish. Yes, sir. And Cade Kaplan tying it up. 33 all between Highland Park and McKinney. Great ball movement and the ability to be aggressive at the right time is what Highland Park does. Hunter Jones fires up a 3 out of the corner, nothing doing. That's going to be, should be out on McKinney. The ref said it's out on Highland Park. Says Cannon White touched it last. And Shannon, he's going to throw it in for McKinney now. Getting it over the seal. Perfectly defensed by Conrad Noble. Saying Conrad Noble committed a foul while making that defensive play. Possession back to McKinney. Braden Gibbons with it. As he's going to call the offense down. Jace Griffin almost pulled the trigger on that one. Griffin's got 9 points for the Lions. Back to Gibbons with 4. And there's Griffin again. Yes, sir. And Jace Griffin in the double digits for scoring now. He's got 12 for McKinney. McKinney back in front by 3, 36-33. 3:33 to go and ticking here in the third quarter. A fast-moving third quarter. Conrad Noble with it, gets it over to Cannon Wide. Wide over to Martinez. McKinney dialing up the defensive pressure. Somebody's got to go help him out. There's Will Saunders. And now back to Martinez. A little space created. Cannon Wide, he wanted a three, but he's going to crash it. Gets it to Cade Kaplan. Kaplan. Martinez cuts. Tries to get it over to Noble. They turn it over. Here comes Damani Shannon. And Cannon Wide not giving up the easy layup as he commits the foul. That's 3 on Cannon Wide today. As Damani Shannon had a head full of steam and was headed for 2 easy points. But Wide said, no, sir. Going to have to take this one out and set it up on offense. 3:04 to go and ticking. Approaching that 3-minute mark right here in the third quarter. McKinney leading 36-33 over Highland Park. And there's Wide Seal with it in the paint. Conrad Noble making them work. Conrad Noble continuing to play great defense and rebounds it. Gets it into Will Saunders. Great job, Noble. Here comes Martinez over to Cade Kaplan. Baseline move over to Saunders and the finish. 2 more points for Will Saunders. He's got 4. Highland Park back to within 1. McKinney lead 36-35. Damani Shannon with it. And Shannon. Highland Park going to switch up defensively. Cade Kaplan now guarding Jace Griffin. Griffin, a nice move, and he finishes nicely. 14 points by Jace Griffin. That is what Travis Snowden was talking about. He is a problem. McKinney back in front by 3. And that was tipped out of bounds by Damani Shannon. Possession Highland Park. Solomon Wicker, he's going to sub in for his first action of the day for McKinney. Taking the place of Braden Givens. Saunders to Martinez on the backcourt. Damani Shannon in his hip pocket. Martinez and Shannon have done battle all day. It has been quite entertaining. Cannon Wide for 3. Nothing doing. Rebounded by Shannon. And here comes Shannon pushing straight to the basket. Nice finger roll. 4 points today for Damani Shannon. McKinney back in front by 5. 40-35. Will Saunders controls it. Cannon Wide over to Martinez. Martinez. Will Saunders, Cade Kaplan for 3 out of the corner. Nothing doing. And Hunter Jones, the rebound. Knocked out by Martinez. Martinez says it was out on Jones. Ref said, no, sir, it's out on you. I think Martinez thought he knocked it off the hands of Jones. 4 new subs in for Highland. 3, in for Highland Park. Coming back in his first action of the day is Graham Goodwin. Spencer Olmison returning. Alex Stockwood joining his AAU teammate Chris Martinez on the floor with Will Saunders. McKinney slowing it down. Damani Shannon is going to take his time as he gets it over to Wicker and back to Shannon. Griffin was going to pull the trigger. Saunders got in his grill real quick, forcing it out of bounds. The clock stops here at the 1:10 mark. Rashard Dickerson, he's going to sub in for Wyatt Seal. Wyatt Seal going to the bench with 9 points. Dickerson, only 1 shot today, but he drained a nice 3-pointer. Whistle and ball in. Griffin. Damani Shannon has it. And there's Martinez and Shannon doing battle as they have done. And Shannon going straight to the cup. 6 points for Damani Shannon. 4 of them right here in the third quarter. McKinney back in front, and now that lead is back to 7. Martinez over to Olmison. Olmison baseline. Over to Stockwood. Stockwood for 3. Yes, sir. Alex Stockwood, his first 3 points of the game. Highland Park back to within 4. 36 seconds and ticking here in the third period. And McKinney leading 42-38, but Highland Park not going anywhere. And both teams have had to work for everything they've gotten today. Great basketball played. Wicker straight to the basket. Saunders with 4 blocks today. But Rashard Dickerson following it up for his 5th points of the day. McKinney up by 6. Martinez to the basket. Finger rolls at home. Yes, sir. And that's going to end the third period. McKinney leading 44-40. Chris Martinez ending that third period with a nice move to the basket and a layup to keep the Scots to within 4 right here on Game On Sports Network. My name is Matthew Bryce. I have your play-by-play and your color. Ty Owens, the man, engineering it, everything, keeping score for us, and he's running the camera. Great job, Ty. Love you, brother. Have some reinforcements in the building myself. My 2 boys, Emmett and Hendricks. They were both out of school today. Emmett out for the Thanksgiving holidays. Hendricks is not out for the Thanksgiving holidays, but he took a day off from daycare. And they said, hey, Daddy, can we go to work with you? I obliged. I said, yes, indeed. Gentlemen, come join Pops at work. And they're sitting here enjoying some Highland Park and McKinney basketball. As we go over the leading scorers. First for McKinney, Jace Griffin leading the way with 14. Wyatt Seal following up with 9. Damani Shannon with 6. 4 by Braden Gibbons and Hunter Jones. 5 by Rashard Dickerson. And for your Highland Park Scots, the Scots led by Cade Kaplan with 12. Cannon Wyatt with 11. Chris Martinez with 10. Will Saunders with 4. Alex Stockwood with 3. Spencer Olmison, Chris Martinez, Alex Stockwood, Graham Goodwin, and Will Saunders. Those are your Scots that are on the floor right now. For McKinney, you're looking at Solomon Wicker. You're looking at Hunter Jones, Damani Shannon, and there's Rashard Dickerson, the sophomore, with a big block. Spencer Olmison making a great move to the basket, but Dickerson denying him and pinning it on the glass. Braden Gibbons also on the court for McKinney. And ladies and gentlemen, it's been that type of day all day for both teams. You've seen great defense. You've seen great offense from both teams. You've seen great ball handling from both teams. And the block shots, Dickerson with that one. Will Saunders has 4 blocks on the day for Highland Park. As he, Conrad Noble, and Graham Goodwin have dealt with some great talented big men on that McKinney team. And there's Wicker. Martinez in his hip pocket. Stockwood almost a steal, but nothing doing. He battles back. He gets in the hip pocket of Braden Gibbons. No shot clock here at the high school level. We are approaching the 7-minute mark here in this final period of play. And Stockwood continuing to play some great defense. Now they switch up. Martinez now on Braden Gibbons. Gets it over to Wicker. Wicker gets it back to Gibbons, and now back to Damani Shannon. They're going to pass it around. McKinney is much like Highland Park, where they are going to work to get an open shot. Hunter Jones is going to go inside. He draws the foul. And they're going to get Graham Goodwin for his first one of the day. And Hunter Jones going to the stripe. He's got 4 points today. Talented sophomore for McKinney. He cannot get that one to follow. Rims the front of the basket. 6:36 to go right here in the final quarter of play, regulation. McKinney leading 44-40. That one is good. Hunter Jones with his 5th point of the day. McKinney now leading 45-40. Here comes Spencer Olmison. Somebody's got to give him some help. He calls timeout. Braden Gibbons and Hunter Jones had him locked up in no man's land, and Olmison said, let me call timeout so we can get a huddle and set up the offense. That's a 30-second timeout. Both teams huddle up. And Peeler, Coach Peeler, giving his guys a great pep talk. Highland Park has not been to the free throw line much today. In fact, I want to say their last free throws were shot in the second quarter. And McKinney dialing up some pressure on defense, not allowing the Highland Park guards to do what they do as much as they love to do, which is crash that paint and kick out. They've done it, but they've done it without drawing a foul, as we've seen Martinez do. Saunders, he's going to throw it in. Rashard Dickerson in his face. Saunders gets it over to Goodwin. Goodwin back to Wyatt, over to Saunders. And there's Cannon Wyatt with it. He's going to shoot that one from long range. Nothing doing. Rebounded. Graham Goodwin. Yes, sir. Graham Goodwin, welcome to the scorer's table. His first 2 points. Getting Highland Park back to within 3. And Graham Goodwin, a big rebound and a great basket. 45-42, McKinney leading. Graham Goodwin, his first year on varsity. And that shot is up and good from Hunter Jones. He's got 7 points. McKinney back in front by 5. Cade Kaplan for 3. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. And Cade Kaplan with 15 points. Highland Park within 2. McKinney leading 47-45. And McKinney can't quite pull away. They had an opportunity. They were up by 13 at one point. And Highland Park has battled back mightily. Cannon Wyatt just committing his 4th personal foul. McKinney subbing in some guys. Here come the Seal brothers. Wyatt Seal, number 33. Bo Seal, number 32. Bo is a junior. Wyatt is a senior. Jace Griffin still in the game, as is Braden Givens, Damani Shannon himself. And Shannon getting it over to Givens. Back to Shannon. They play catch. Jace Griffin, the talented junior. Long pass over to Damani Shannon. Cade Kaplan staring him down. And Kenny Wyatt staring down Braden Givens. Chris Martinez is headed to the scorer's table for Highland Park, as is Conrad Noble. Jace Griffin cannot finish that one. Rebounded by Wyatt Seal. And he's going to get it to baby brother Bo. Bo finishes. Bo Seal, the underhanded shot in the paint. Get McKinney up by 4. And there's a nice look at the basket. Graham Goodwin cannot finish it. Rebounded by Bo Seal. 4:27 to go and ticking here in regulation. McKinney leading 49-45. Richardson back to Bo Seal. Excuse me. Damani Shannon back to Bo Seal. Over to Wyatt Seal. He's going to pull the trigger. Nothing doing. He follows his shot. Rebounded by baby brother Bo. Great defense, Alex Stockwood. Great defense, Graham Goodwin. And Goodwin tying up Wyatt Seal. But they're saying possession McKinney. And Graham Goodwin, he's headed to the bench, as is Stockwood. And I'm sure when Highland Park starts film session after this one, Coach Peeler and Coach Snowden, they're going to be very proud of Goodwin and how he made Big Seal work. And now, Highland Park with possession. Cade Kaplan into Martinez. 3:57 and ticking here in the final period. There's Cannon Wyatt over to Will Saunders. Back to Kaplan. Cannon Wyatt. He looked like he was looking to pull the trigger on that one, but he gave it up and kicked it out to Martinez. Martinez back to Cannon Wyatt. He's going to pull the trigger on that one, and yes, sir, he hits that one. And Cannon Wyatt gets Highland Park to within 1. McKinney has to call a timeout. 3 minutes and 33 and ticking. And McKinney's leading 49-48. But Highland Park's not going anywhere. We're going to take a quick break here at Game On Sports Network. We will return in just a second. And we'll return from that timeout here at Game On Sports Network. McKinney leading Highland Park 49-48, but the Scots making McKinney work for everything. As has McKinney done to Highland Park. Highland Park has had to really work. This has been a blue-collar game played on both sides by the McKinney Lions and the Highland Park Scots. And even if you love whether you love offense or defense, whichever you prefer, this is a game that you would most definitely love because the effort has been everything from both Highland Park and McKinney. 49-48, McKinney, 3:25 to go and ticking in regulation. And there is Bo Seal with a nice move to the basket, and he hits it. He had Conrad Noble in his hip pocket. Seal just went to work, and he earned that one. 3-point lead for McKinney. And a turnover. Here comes the McKinney Lions. And that one almost a turnover as well. It's Cade Kaplan. Highland Park, they switch up on defense. Cade Kaplan now guarding Braden Givens. Cannon wide on Jace Griffin. Conrad Noble on Bo Seal. Griffin, he wanted that one. And a nice cut to the basket, but great defense by Martinez and Will Saunders. Will Saunders continuing to be a force. And that one, great defense, but great offense. Bo Seal, 8 points. McKinney back in front by 5. Cannon wide, he's going to go to the basket. Cannot finish off the front of the rim. Rebound, Braden Givens. Here come the Lions. And Martinez almost forcing the turnover, but Damani Shannon with it. He gets it to Jace Griffin for 3. Nothing doing. Rebounded by Wyatt Seal out of bounds. Ball, Highland Park. 2 minutes and 3 seconds to go, and subbing back into the game for McKinney is Hunter Jones. He's going to take Bo Seal's spot. 53-48. McKinney leading. 2-minute mark. Here comes Cannon wide. Wide over to Conrad Noble. Over to Will Saunders. Cannon wide for 3. Nothing doing. Rebounded. Knocked out by Chris Martinez. Possession McKinney. And Wyatt Seal was looking to pull down a rebound. And Martinez very, very active. Martinez and Stockwood. As is Cannon Wide and Cade Kaplan. All of these guards are very active. As you can see right now, but Damani Shannon getting by it. He's going to get it to Wyatt Seal out of the corner for 3, and he drains it. 12 points now for Wyatt Seal in a big three-pointer to stretch the Lions' lead to 56-48. Highland Park going to call a full timeout here at the 1:34 mark to go here in regulation. And Coach Peeler trying to draw up something. Trying to draw up something on the offensive end. Whatever the Scots do, it has to be quick if they expect to get out of here with a win. As they are now below the 2-minute mark and facing an 8-point deficit. Quick ball movement. Get a man open. They have shot the 3-point shot well today. Get someone open, whether it's in the corner or beyond the arc, middle of the floor. Cannon Wide has been on fire, as has Cade Kaplan today. Cannon Wide with 14 points. His best friend, Cade Kaplan, with 15. Will Saunders got 4. Chris Martinez with 10. Stockwood with 3. Graham Goodwin with 2. That is the scoring for Highland Park. And Wyatt really started to heat up in that third period. And now we come out of the timeout. Highland Park back on the floor and ready to go. McKinney breaking their huddle. I had some great talking points that I wanted to talk about with the Scots basketball team today, but it's been such an up and down game, I have not been able to get to them. And Highland Park still has not shot a free throw since the second quarter, early in the second period to be exact. But Chris Martinez with Damani Shannon in his pit pocket. Will Saunders over to Cannon Wide. Wide off the screen, over to Martinez. McKinney clogging up that middle, and that one is blocked by Hunter Jones. Damani Shannon with it, up the court. Jace Griffin a layup and good. 16 points for Jace Griffin. McKinney now leading by 10. And Cannon White blocked by Hunter Jones again. Griffin over to his guy. He was trying to get it to Braden Givens, and they turn it over. We are now below the 1 minute mark, and Highland and McKinney leading 58-48. And Hunter Jones coming alive on that defensive side for McKinney. Cade Kaplan going to get it to Cannon White. White turns it over. Wyatt Seal with it. Damani Shannon going to toss the alley-oop to Hunter Jones. Cannot finish. Cade Kaplan a rebound. Kaplan with it to Cannon White for three. Nothing doing. Damani Shannon with the rebound. And Hunter Jones with it, 30 seconds to go. Wyatt Shannon. He draws the foul from Conrad Noble. 27 and a half seconds to go here in regulation. And McKinney with a 10-point lead. And Wyatt Seal looking to put this one away. And Seal hits that one. 13 points for the big man, stretching the McKinney lead to 11. And that one rims out. And they're saying out on Jace Griffin. Highland Park ball. 26.6 on the clock. And we got a timeout call. And Highland Park trailing by 11. Looks like McKinney called timeout on that one. And Highland Park, they're out on the floor and they're ready to go. McKinney, they took a full timeout that time as they huddle up, and McKinney head coach just letting them know, hey guys, one thing we don't want to do, we don't want to foul, but at the same time, we don't want to give up an open shot. The three-point shot has been good for Highland Park today when they've been able to get a shot off. But McKinney has respected that. And they have not left Highland Park open for many wide open shots. When Highland Park has gotten a wide open shot, it's because they have earned it. They have worked and earned it. And you tip the hat to the Scots for that. But McKinney not giving many open looks. The size for McKinney and the athleticism, they will be a problem in the 6A playoffs. Jordan Elliott checking into the game for McKinney now. As is Tyree Miller, another sophomore. Cade Kaplan over to Martinez for three. Martinez cannot get that one. Rebounded. That's DJ Davis getting it over to Brant Barr, another senior. And there's Miller and there's Elliott. Blocked by Will Saunders. Martinez was looking to get it out to Cannon White for a fast break. McKinney commits a foul. 6.5 seconds to go here in the final period. Right here, Game On Sports Network. Cannon White in a hurry. And foul. DJ Davis is going to send Cannon White back to the free throw line. That's Davis's first. 1.5 seconds to go on the clock. And White wants to get this one to within single digits. The first free throws Highland Park has shot since the second period. And Cannon White hits that one, giving them 15 points. Second free throw attempt coming from Cannon White, the captain. That one also good. As we get that one to within 9 points. And a timeout. And they say, no, sir. Let's just end it right here. Final score here on Game On Sports Network. McKinney, 59. Highland Park, 50. McKinney moves to 7-1 overall on the season. Highland Park dropping to 2-2. But the Scots, I would bet they are playing the toughest schedule in the state. Facing Wiley in the first week of the season, following that up with a meeting against Lake Highlands, and then they took on Lake Highlands, following the Wiley game up with a meeting against Allen, who may win it all in 6A. They then did battle with Lake Highlands, who may also have a say in who wins it in 6A. And then here on this Monday afternoon, early Monday afternoon game, they came up 75, did battle with the McKinney Lions, who the Lions, if I must say, the Allen Eagle coaches were here watching this game. So that tells you a lot, because I think they know that they may see McKinney down the road. 59-50 is your final score. Leading scorers, we're going to go over them. Jace Griffin led McKinney with 16 points. Wyatt Seal, 13 points. Bo Seal with 8. 7 for Hunter Jones. 6 for Damani Shannon. 4 for Braden Givens. 5 for Rashard Griffin. We go over to the Highland Park side. Cannon Wyatt led the Scots once again with 16 points. Cade Kaplan with 15. Chris Martinez with 10 points. 3 points from Alex Stockwood, 4 from Big Will Saunders, and 2 from Graham Goodwin. We say thank you once again to the Highland Park community for allowing us at Game On Sports Network to come out and serve the community. It's been a pleasure to do so. For me personally, Matthew Bryce, I also say thank you to the Highland Park community and the Game On Sports Network community for allowing me to come out and serve. You could have chose anyone, but you chose me, and I appreciate that. For those of you who have tuned in, we say thank you for tuning in, because you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Ty Owens, thank you for engineering this. Great job, sir. My two boys, Ibbett and Hendricks, thank you for coming to work with Daddy. I love you boys. On behalf of Game On Sports Network, my name is Matthew Bryce, and we will see you Saturday at Bowie High School in Arlington, where the Scots will tip off at 1 o'clock with the Volunteers. Until Saturday, thank you for tuning in to Game On. God bless, and Game On.